Peace, love, and light, family, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ty, and I'm super happy to have you. Hopefully, you'll take a look around, like what you see, and hit the subscribe button. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. I truly appreciate all of the love and the support. Hopefully, you've already subscribed to the channel. You guys, if you're new to tarot and you don't know how this works, it is a general reading, so everything won't resonate. Please take what resonates, leave the rest for someone else. Also, keep in mind that roles are interchangeable. So what that means is that you need to put yourself and everybody in your story where you know they belong, because only you know where they belong. You know everybody's roles. I don't. I only pick up the energy. Okay. So let's get straight into it. Wait, no, actually, just a friendly reminder that it's 11/11. The 11/11 is a portal. Great day for manifestation. Hopefully you've spent some time in meditation or journaling, or at least just sitting with yourself and sitting with your own thoughts and your desires, and really projecting and emitting out that which you want to receive. Long story short, make a wish. Anywho, okay, so you guys, I was called to do, I was guided to do a general love reading. And I feel like, you know, one thing I want to say before I get into this, well, actually two things. One is that if you're watching my readings or any other reader's readings, right, and you frequent their channels, right? So let's say, you know, if I post on a weekly basis and I'm doing a general reading on a weekly basis, understand that the storyline may continue, okay? Depending on who the viewer is, depending on, you know, I'm picking up energy from everywhere. So understand that sometimes, yes, the storyline continues because that's still the energy that's present. Not every time you're in a comment is going to be something entirely different. If you stick around and it resonates, you also got to be honest with yourself, right? That's sidebar. You have to be honest about whether or not are you even out of that energy yet. And if you're not, then don't expect that energy to shift. If it is your message, right? And it's still the same message, does it resonate? Are you still in that same situation? And even though you're still in that situation, you're hoping to hear something different. So being honest with yourself. And sometimes it's just not your message, right? Oh, it's not resonating with me. Yes, something did shift, has shifted, and this one's not for me. Okay, understand that time is, first of all, is an illusion, but energy is fluid. So, you know, I could be picking up on a different timeline as well if something changes, right? Something in the near future, in the past, not just the present. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was, you know, I really discourage people from binge watching tarot readings. You know, when you're sitting there all day long just listening to tarot readings, like looking for more and more answers, because energy is energy, okay? And the only thing that can change things are our actions, right? So like, unless obviously destiny is involved, which it always is, but our actions shape our destiny, okay? That's what I want to say. So don't be binge watching, you know, readings hoping to get a different answer, just because you don't want to be honest with yourself about the one that you got. If it resonates, okay? If it resonates. That's all I want to say. If there's a message for you, Spirit is going to get it to you by any means necessary, whether it's through a tarot reader online or signs and synchronicities in your reality, okay? The signs are always there. The messages are always there. We just need to be open to them. All right, I don't know who needed to hear that, but I said what I said, okay? Anyway, let's get into it. And I'm seeing this card, which I'll come back to in just a sec. The storyline that I'm picking up here, again, is one of like a soul contract. Like there are two people here who feel like they're destined to be together, and it might not even be that they're awakened to the reality of that or the possibility of that, but there's a connection here, okay? There's a strong connection here. There's a soul contract, but I feel like these people right now, these two people are in separation, okay? It could be that they might not be on speaking terms, or actually like decided to take a break from each other. Now, I feel like one person here this is giving very much twin flamey energy, again soulmate energy, but twin flamey in the sense with the separation, okay, and you know, having a runner and a chaser. I don't necessarily feel like somebody is chasing, because I feel like the collective has evolved and ascended to the point where the chaser is no longer the chaser. The chaser is not chasing. If you were once the chaser, you're not chasing anymore. You are in and again, place yourself where you see fit. It could be your person. So swap the roles however you want, or however they belong, not however you want. So the chasers are not chasing anymore. The chasers have evolved. The chasers have gained the necessary wisdom and learned the lessons, okay? One thing that I want to point out, because of Mercury retrograde right now and seeing the Six of Cups, right? This is the Six of Cups or the Six of Pentacles? Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck this is soulmate energy, by the way, but this is also the past returning. Not just the past in terms of a person or in the form of a person, but also memories, you know, going down memory lane, looking at old pictures, old text messages, things like that. But this talks about past energy, familiar energy, right? So, darn, what was I going to say about that? Oh, what I was going to say is that, you know, when the universe replays, like brings you back into a certain situation that you have been in before with a certain person, if that situation comes back around, it's because there's something that we need to learn. There's something there to learn. You still haven't learned the lesson, or all of the lessons meant to be learned in that cycle. So if that comes back around during Mercury retrograde and like you reconnect with a past person, first of all, and this is not the case for, you know, everybody, but these are all the possibilities, right? Somebody comes back from your past and you reconnect, you rekindle something. Honestly, anything that comes back during Mercury retrograde, I just, according to my own experience and my own timelines and, you know, the things that I have, again, experienced, the wisdom I've gained, for me, it's something that I'm always very skeptical about. Now, I recognize that when things come up during Mercury retrograde, there's always an opportunity to heal something in that connection. Now, just because we have the opportunity to heal something in that connection and we choose to heal it, right? Let's deal with this, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to reconcile that relationship, right? In the sense that whether it was a romantic partner or, a friendship, you can choose to heal it. You can choose to say, hey, let's talk, let's air this out. Let's give each other some closure, maybe even, right? Let's leave the space between us light and forgiving. That kind of energy, that's okay to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean because you do that, right? You go out on a coffee date with the friend or the ex, and you decide to come to a place of understanding and forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you have to pick up where you left off. It doesn't mean that that person deserves a seat at your table again. It doesn't mean that you have to open the door to your life again, okay, for them to come in. And that doesn't necessarily mean that. So I always encourage people, you know, during Mercury retrograde, really take everything with a grain of salt. Try to have more so a head over heart approach, being very logical, because, you know, ultimately when Mercury stations direct again, a lot of the things that occurred, a lot of the decisions that were made during its retrograde can turn back around, right? Can become the complete opposite of how they started. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes people reconnect, reconcile, and things are great and it lasts, and that's perfect. That's why, you know, Mercury's energy brought you back together and it withstood, you know, whatever test it was. Cool. most of the time I find that that's not the case. So anyway, that was that. I kind of veered off topic just a little bit, but I feel like there's a situation here going on, right? Where the energy of this 1111 portal is giving me twin flame energy. It is 1111 is the number of the twin flame, right? It's also in the tarot, we look at it as the Four of Wands, right? Card of wish fulfillment, family, contracts, dreams coming true, manifestation, right? Things coming to fruition. So it's a beautiful number. It's a beautiful portal. And so I feel like this is really bringing in like this energy. I feel like a lot of people right now, a lot of the collective who have been really doing the inner work for the past couple years are now, like I said, in the state where there's, not to say that there's no more healing to do, but yeah, we're out of that healing phase and into the open phase. So I feel like a lot of the collective right now is opening up their heart, right? The heart is open and ready to receive love. And so that is attracting, that's calling in your soulmate, calling in your twin, right? Not everybody has a twin flame, but calling that person in. Okay, so I feel like there's a situation here where there's been a separation of two people who feel very drawn to each other. It doesn't have to be somebody that you have been with or were with for a long time, or somebody that you are currently with. It could be a new connection that just never really took off, right? And I say that because the pre-shuffle shows me, date, like get back out there in terms of like meeting someone. So I feel like this was for most of you, this was a newer connection. Okay. But I feel like somebody here, again, this storyline, which is why I said that, somebody is masking their feelings, right? Really trying to hold back. And I feel like there's this energy here of like someone who is not showing how they feel, but they're only lying to themselves, right? Because I feel like the other person can feel that. I feel like deep down inside, somebody here feels like they missed out on an opportunity, and now they're afraid to reach out or reconnect because they're afraid that it's too late to take any action, right? I feel like somebody here really struggled with feeling worthy and unsatisfied. But I feel like that stems from in inner, so not having to do with the relationship. I feel like maybe somebody here was struggling financially and just didn't feel comfortable enough to share that with the other person, or felt like, you know what, I have to guard myself because I can't let this person know what my current situation is. This is just too new. And so I feel like, I feel like that led someone else to like running away, right? Feelings of unworthiness, like I'm not, but it's almost like they didn't feel worthy, but that's not what they showed. What they showed was more so just like, I'm just going to pull back my energy, but it was out of fear because they felt like the other person was out of their league. And it might be out of their league, physically, like you look too good for me. I can't really believe that you like me. While other people, for many people, there was an issue of money where it was like, I don't have enough to keep up with this person. They felt like they needed to keep up. Okay. And so I feel like something went dry, right? But what Spirit is saying here is that, there's still hope in this situation, and deep down inside they have not let go of the other person, right? And I feel like, again, this person, the party that was the pursuing party, like the party that was open, right? I don't want to say chaser because it's not the chaser, but it's the person in the connection, the other person who was open, who was available, who was, demonstrating interest. I feel like that person, and this is why I get twin flamey energy, triggered something in the person who felt unworthy, right? Reflected back at them, right? So the person who feels unworthy, it's like they were staring at those things in the mirror, right? Here's somebody who activated their fears, who brought those things to the surface. And I feel like yeah, there was a bit of anxiety or just like a reality check about that. So I feel like this person is ascending, is starting to realize certain things that they didn't realize about themselves, right? Maybe even a little imposter syndrome type of thing, right? Where it's kind of like, do I even belong with this group of people? Or do I belong in this workspace? Do I belong, yeah. So you guys get my drift, right? So yeah, but I feel like with this situation here, somebody's gonna, again, break the silence. Somebody wants to meet up to talk, somebody. And I feel like because this person here is ascending, I feel like after Mercury retrograde, this person will gain a lot of clarity regarding this connection, right? I feel like this person actually does want to reconnect, and somebody here could be, really reflecting on like the friendship, like, damn, that person made me laugh, or I connected with that person well, like it was cool, like, I don't know, I like their energy. But something here tells me that each of you, whoever this resonates with, is mirroring each other, right? You're doing the same thing to each other. Like, you're not reaching out, they're not reaching out. You're just kind of reserving your energy, right? Reserving it, yes. Reserving your energy to protect yourself. But it's not, there's something here that this is not over, okay? This situation, this connection here, it's not over. There is unfinished business. I also feel like, and this is specific, okay? So if it's not yours, if it's not yours, if there's something that's not yours in a reading, do not claim it. You could let it go over your head, okay? But I feel like somebody could also be dealing with a recent, like grieving, and this is not something that I get often, but grieving the loss of a loved one or someone close to them, a friendship, okay? And this might be specific to one or two people, but someone who is grieving the loss of, a loved one or a friendship who they didn't really get to express what they meant to them. Woo. Yeah. And that's not something that comes through often. While others are really just grieving the distance between themselves and their person, right? Okay. Spirit, tell me more here for the collective in love. What messages do you have for the collective in love? What do we need to know? What are the messages that we need to hear? What is the advice? What is coming in? Messages for the collective. Ooh. You guys saw I shuffled it. Can't make this shit up. It came back out, okay? Spirit confirming that this is a soul connection. This is someone who really does feel at home with someone else. And this is also somebody who's really thinking about the connection with this person. Again, this energy here, there's also this side energy of somebody who's missing a friend or a lover that they lost, okay? It could have been a recent loss, okay? Or maybe just feelings coming up regarding this loss, and which is understandable considering Mercury's retrograde. I'm sorry, my heart goes out to you, sending you lots of healing, love, energy, and light, okay? And that's just a sidebar. But 6 of Cups, right? Somebody who feels like home, somebody who feels safe, somebody who feels like, yeah, like this could be my person. And I don't know why I'm thinking about this person so much. And I don't know why I miss this person so much, but they do, and it's because love transcends everything. Love, right, on a soul level. You guys, follow me. Please follow me. Don't get stuck in this 3D. Don't get stuck here in, how people perceive love to be. I'm talking about deep, agape, soul level contracts. You may not understand it. You won't understand it, actually. I'm sorry, I take that back. You won't. Logically, it is not going to make sense to you because there is a soul connection. There is a soul tie. Okay, your souls know each other because you were once one. Okay, so Love transcends time, space, all things, okay? And so I feel like that's why you're trying to, somebody here is trying to wrap their head around a connection, and it's like, yeah, no, what did I say? Is this in, no, look, and that was upright, and death came out in the reverse. Okay, death came, what did I say? It's not over, but something is transforming. A connection that started and couldn't take off. Okay, for some of you, this may be a past lover, a past person, or even a past friend who you haven't seen in a long time comes back around, and there's something else, right? Maybe you felt sparks with each other. You felt like there was this eternal connection, but it never went anywhere. I feel like something is taking shape now. Something is changing. Okay, with death there, you know, Scorpio may mean something to you. It may not, okay? But that's just a confirmation, okay? With the death with the death card in the reverse, somebody knows that they don't want something to end, okay? Somebody hasn't lost hope, but somebody's resisting this ending. Like, no, I recognize that I don't want this to end. It's not over. Look, judgment. This is awakening. Somebody's awakening to their feelings for someone else. Somebody's realizing how much someone else means to them. Somebody's realizing that they don't want this to be over, or maybe that they don't want, you know, that they want to be more than friends, that they want something more. Okay, judgment is a decision. It's also healing. It's healing energy. So maybe, you know, again, something could have gone wrong. Maybe somebody cut things off, you know, abruptly. Maybe just, you know, maybe somebody ghosted. But ultimately, I feel like now somebody wants to come in to express how they feel, to express what they've been experiencing, and to give someone else clarity regarding a connection. But judgment is all about awakening, having an aha moment, and also about divine timing, like destiny stepping in, right? Like, I know that you thought that this was over. This was going to come out earlier, and I put it back, and look, it fell back out. So somebody here is watching. Page of Swords is an energy of somebody who is watching but not necessarily doing anything, right? So I feel like somebody has been really trying to figure out what to do with respect to this situation. And again, both parties are holding, you know, their feelings and their thoughts, and they're not communicating, right? But I feel like, again, somebody's gonna gain some sort of clarity. Something's gonna strike somebody. It's like a light bulb moment, and this person decides, you know what, no, I need to do something now. The Page of Swords, they could be watching you on social media, if you have, you know, a social media platform, or, you know, just trying to get information about you, maybe talking to other people. Look, can't make this shit up. The Tower. This is a sudden, abrupt ending, okay? So I feel like maybe for some of you, the storyline is that it ended, and or you both feel like, okay, that's that. Like, we're not speaking, or we had that discussion, we had that conversation, it led to nowhere, and it is what it is kind of energy. And you are assuming that that it's done. That chapter is closed. And the reality is that it's not. But somebody is awakening, right? Something had to end, right? So maybe somebody pulled their energy back, or somebody, you know, somebody needed some sort of revelation, okay? And whenever I see the Tower also, you know, I can't help but notice the two people here, right? So I feel like for some of you, this is somebody who needed to experience something else, another connection or other people, something that was surface level, superficial, something that was built on a weak ass foundation, and that comes crumbling down, and that's what needs to end in order for this person to realize, like, wow. And sadly, that's just the case, right, for a lot of people. But the Tower is an aha moment, exactly what I said. Like, the light bulb moment is when lightning strikes, okay? Yeah, it could also be, I can't help but see the bed up there too. It could also be that somebody just, you know, was more interested in being promiscuous and not, you know, willing to, like, commit. But I feel like, you know, again, this Tower comes in, Something happens here. I want to clarify that tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, bottom of the, ooh, 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody gets left out in the cold. Somebody gets rejected. So I feel like, and there are fears. This person who kept their distance, who kept their guard up, I feel like now they're fearful of coming back in because they fear rejection. But also, you know, with that tower, I feel like, yes, something comes to an end. Somebody experiences what it's like to not have that person's energy in whatever way they had it, right? Maybe you guys, you know, just would talk a lot, you know, maybe you would share stories, or just, it's, you know, people can feel when you pull back your energy. Like, they can feel it, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be that, you know, something specific happened and you decided, oh, I'm not banging with you no more, you know, like I'm not with it, like I'm done. You don't have to actually say that, right? That is something that I swear by. I always say I gracefully bow out. When I do, I bring my energy with me. Like, I'm not leaving you with this because I know how sacred my energy is. I know how it fills people. I know that my energy is healing. I know the value of who I am on a soul level. So if I've allowed somebody to experience me, to experience this energy, I know how it makes a person come alive in a way that helps them evolve, even if they haven't, it's not something dramatic, right? It's not something like super dramatic. I know it, right? The intensity of my energy. Once you've had it, if I take it away, you're going to thirst for it forever. I know that. I know people probably like, damn, she like tooted her own horn. Damn. Like, yes, it's like that. If I have allowed you to drink from my cup and I take it back, I take it away from you, you are going to thirst forever, regardless of who offers you a sip from their cup, because it is not my energy. It is not me. And so, Avi, when I pull my energy back, when I pull myself back physically, I'm going to pull my energy back spiritually more than anything. I begin to pull my energy back spiritually before my body ever physically leaves. And then I end it with an intentional, let me get that. Let me get all of that. That looked crazy, but. That's gonna sound crazy on this video. I don't care though. That's how it is. Like, on everything. So ultimately, I feel like when someone experiences that, right? So it could have been something like they got a hit and it was just kind of like, oh, okay, they thought you was somebody regular. You just another body. Not knowing you were sent here to trigger an awakening. Not knowing the power that, or the status, let me not even just say power, let me say status, the status that you hold on an astral level, on a spiritual level, esoteric level, right? You can't see it. It's there though. And so this person didn't know what it would feel like, or they didn't expect to feel the emptiness. And not to say that they're empty, but that it's like this stillness, this very bland, empty. It's almost like, you know, when you go into a room that's empty and let's say the room is an empty parking lot, let's just say, you know, it's kind of like echoey and cold and stiff. That's what they're experiencing. They can feel that missing, that something is not the same, and it never will be. And maybe they might decide to, you know, with time, that will kind of stabilize for them, right? Because when you go for a long period of time without something, right, you no longer long for it, but you will feel the intensity, right? So they're feeling the intensity of having that energy pulled back from them. And that is something that they needed to experience in order to like awaken to what this connection really is. Because I feel like Somebody here might have been like a little superficial, okay? A little superficial. Whoa. Let me grab that. 6 of Wands. I picked it up in the reverse. Yeah, so I'll take it as something couldn't move forward, right? Something couldn't be successful. June might mean something to you, you know, the month of June, but 6, it could be, what are we in? We are in November. November 6, December 6, any 6. The month 6, June, in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, the number 6, 666 also as well. Maybe you've been seeing that number often as well. Tell me more here, Spirit. Yeah, the 5 of Cups. Somebody's sad, somebody's missing, somebody's longing, somebody's disappointed. Okay? I feel like somebody regrets something here. Regrets ending or regrets allowing, you know, so much time have gone by without saying anything, without doing anything. Bottom of the deck, I'm seeing the Chariot, which is something is coming in. Somebody's coming in. Somebody's going to take the lead. Like somebody's going to finally charge in, right? Because even though it didn't succeed in the past, something couldn't move forward. Somebody's like, no, I feel this now. I'm awakening to it. And I'm going to have the courage and the willpower to step forward because I want victory with this person. Please clarify judgment here. Please clarify judgment. Somebody's sad. You know what song I'm hearing? From too many cards. From what's that song? By Bryson Tiller. I gotta right my wrongs. I hate singing now. Well, I did it when I was younger, but I'm sorry, first of all. With you is where I belong. You've been down from the start. Recognition's what you want, and it's something that I should know. Yeah, so somebody here wanted recognition. Maybe somebody wanted, you know, a certain position in the other person's life. What did I say? 666. Look. 6 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles came out in the upright. And so clarifying judgment is like somebody makes the decision now to be fair, to give back. Somebody's going to give back to this situation. I feel like this is concerning a situation that couldn't move forward and is not over. Okay, because the person is awakening. The person is going through an awakening. There's an internal shift happening here for somebody, and they are ascending. They're awakening to the connection, and they're evolving, right? And so as that person transforms, they make the decision to step in now and want to give more in fairness, in truth, with clarity to this connection. And so the connection begins to transform, right? I feel like this is somebody who gets a lot of attention as well because of the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. And also, but I feel like, right, whereas this person could have wanted the attention from the crowd before, now they only want your attention, or now you only want their attention, whatever. Flop the roles however you want. So somebody now realizes, you know how they say like, oh, it doesn't matter how many eyes are on me as long as my eyes are on you. Or everybody could be paying attention to me, but you're what I want. You're who I want, right? I feel like that's the case here. So somebody here makes a decision and awakens, you know, decides. Also, maybe this person, there was somebody who took advice, you know, from a lot of people. It was just somebody who was just like asking too many people for advice and not following their intuition, not following their own heart, their own desires. Because I feel like this person could feel a connection. They were just ignoring it. And so they may have asked for too many opinions. And now it's kind of like this person is learning to listen to their own intuition, because they've had to sit with themselves without your energy, right? Feeling like that space between you, okay? Whether it's spiritually, energetically, or actually physically, or all three, okay? Tell me about the Page of Swords here. Oh, this is long. Tell me about the Page of Swords here. Whoa. Tell me about the Page of Swords here. Tell me about the Page of Swords. Clarify the Page of Swords, please. Thank you. Two of Wands. Yeah. Now somebody's thinking about the future, and now somebody's planning, and now somebody's like, oh, wow, you know, really looking ahead, okay? Really reflecting. There's somebody here who's really reflecting and feeling like they're on the outside, right? But again, I also feel like you are both mirroring each other, right? So you guys are not saying anything to each other, but you're both thinking about each other. You both feel it. You feel the intensity of the connection. You feel the soul tie. You feel like you want to reach out to each other, right? You feel comfortable with each other. I can't help but notice a disco ball here. Okay, so maybe maybe the letter M is significant to you. Maybe the letter W is significant to you. Maybe a disco ball or dancing is significant to you, okay? Maybe you and this person would go on, you know, dates, bike riding, or maybe you planned a date and it just, you know, to go bike riding or something and it never happened. But I feel like somebody here now is thinking about all of the things, right? All of the little things that they weren't paying attention to before, right? Or maybe certain things just remind them of you or remind you of them. Right? You walk past, you know, a certain spot or something, and it's like, oh, you know, like so-and-so brought me here, or I did this with them, or we were supposed to do that. Three of Wands. So you go from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands, right? You're evolving, right? Something is moving forward where somebody's waiting. The Three of Wands is also a waiting energy, but in the Two of Wands, they're planning, they're thinking, they're looking toward the future, trying to figure out, trying to decide, trying to make a decision. And I feel like with this is also like the ships are coming in, right? So somebody finally decides, right? Somebody finally decides, okay? Coffee might have been a thing, right? Like having coffee with someone because he's drinking his coffee and there's a coffee here and nobody here. So I feel like maybe this person's like sitting with themselves and, you know, I don't know. I feel like somebody might have been sitting, you know, having a meal or a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you drink, whatever's your thing, wine. And maybe like across from them, you know, you guys sat across from each other or you went to a certain like restaurant or diner and it's like this person feels that, you know, no one is there, okay? But something's coming in with that Three of Wands, right? Because there's this energy of expectation. Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Could it be commitment? Could it be like, okay, I'm ready to be present with you. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, oh my God, we're getting married, we're getting into a relationship, but I'm going to be present with you, right? I'm going to be present with you. And I'm going to be present in this space. Okay? Clarify the Tower, please. Clarify the Tower. Temperance. Patience, healing, forgiveness, again, balance, decisions, okay? This is also about alchemy, like making something out of nothing. So I also feel like, again, this person may not have felt enough and they could come and say, look, this is my reality, okay? My reality is that right now I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. And I'm super consumed by my finances because that could be the case. Sometimes people go through things, you know, and unless, I'm not going to say unless we ask because I've been in many situations where I ask, hey, how are you? How's your heart? How's your mind? And some people are just not ready to receive that level of support because they've never had it. So it feels awkward or they might feel maybe life has made them guarded. Okay. But with that Temperance card, yeah, somebody realizes that they want to come back around. The Empress at the bottom of the deck, there's love, there's conception, there's a new beginning after a pause or an ending. A pause that felt like an ending, okay? Okay, tell us about what's coming in, what can we expect? And then I'm gonna close out because I think I gotta leave. I don't even know what time it is. Nine of Wands, somebody who doesn't want to give up. They want to come in. They feel it could be that this, you know, this person and you have been through a lot. Some of you do have a history. Some of you just feel like, oh my gosh, like I feel defeated, but I'm gonna come in, right? So after a period where you felt like it was almost over, right? Overwhelmed by emotions, just feeling tired of, you know, maybe repeating the same cycle. Somebody decides to come in. Five of Swords, there could have been, you know, conflict, or this situation is not going to be easy, because I feel like there's a need to have challenging conversations, right? And I remember reading a quote that I really enjoyed, which is like, I loved uncomfortable or challenging conversations that lead to clarity and truth. So I feel like that's what's happening, right? Because somebody has their guard up or has had their guard up. So I feel like, you know, don't entertain like mental conflict where you tell yourself, oh, you know, I have to be on guard because this person, don't assume that somebody's going to be on guard. Okay. If you're going to come in to reconcile, could be that you're going to see this person at a party too with that Three of Cups, right? And it's kind of like you give the energy like, do we talk? Do we not talk? Do we know each other? Do we not know each other? Are we going to fight? Are we going to argue? Like, what's up? And it's kind of like, I feel like you both have to put your guard down, right? Vulnerability, baby. Okay? Ain't no shame in that. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. Somebody wants to work at it. Somebody wants to water, feed the connection, okay? But also I feel like somebody feels like they are in a better place financially as well, okay? Four of Pentacles, all right? So a lot of earth energy here. So I feel like there's a lot of, you know, questions regarding safety and security and commitment, okay? Are you willing to invest here? Are you willing to commit to this? And so with the Four of Pentacles, this tells me that somebody doesn't want to let go of something, okay? But there is, you know, again, someone could also be feeling betrayed or be feeling disillusioned. So there is an uncomfortable conversation that needs to take place before this can be healed, but it can be healed. Ooh, the Hierophant. Let's take one more. Okay, yeah. So there's definitely Cancer. Lots of earth energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus strong here. The Chariot is Cancer energy. The Star is Aquarius. Okay, we have Sagittarius energy. Scorpio. We have all the signs here. But yeah, I feel like somebody does not want to let this go, and somebody decides that what they want, they realize that they actually want this person, that they care a lot about this person, that they enjoy this person's energy, and they come in and they finally take action with that Knight of Wands. I have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which tells me, yeah, somebody finally, you know, grows some cojones, just gets their emotions in check, all right? Because I feel like somebody with the Moon card kept a lot of these emotions to themselves, or their feelings, how they felt, how they thought, maybe even appeared emotionally unavailable, but that's not the case. I feel like this person does feel a lot. I feel like they needed to go through this transformation in order to step forward into this connection from a place of certainty, from a place of a healed space, right? A place of faith and hope. And with the Star card here, it does tell me, you know, again, either you or your person could be in the spotlight a lot or just get a lot of attention. You might be dealing with an Aquarius, a Taurus, or even a Cancer. But yeah, the Hierophant here, what's this on his ear? Looks like an elegua on his ear. And it's like an earring. Maybe your person wears big earrings, or like wears like jewelry that's what do you call it, like cultural pieces, you know, like sometimes I will wear, you know, like my Ochung's necklaces or beads and things like that. So certain things culturally, right? Just certain things that stand out, okay? Again, you could be dealing with somebody who is very spiritual, and the question here is about commitment, right? Are you sure that this is what you want? Are you coming in with truth? Are you being fair, okay? Are you giving to this connection? Are you going to give to me what I have? Because I can't give to you what you're not giving to me. That's that kind of energy, right? So if you're willing to pour, I will pour as well. But I do feel like this situation here is going to come together. For many of you, it's going to be after Mercury retrograde. Okay, Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is a new cycle in love. Excuse me. And new love doesn't necessarily mean a new person. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna leave it there because I gotta head out to go dance. But I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope. Thank you for sticking with me all of this time. If you did enjoy it and it resonated with you, please drop a comment down below. Let me know how. Give your girl a like. It helps my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you consider subscribing. What else? If you're interested in following me on my other social media platforms or a personal reading or just connecting with me, I forgot what I was going to say. Whoa, my brain has been mush. If you're interested in connecting with me, all of that information is going to be in the description box below. Happy 11/11. Make a wish, make a wish, make a wish. May all of your manifestations come to fruition. Yeah, may everything that you give out that is positive and good and loving return to you. And then some. I love you all so much. Peace, love, and light.